This dryer at $249.99, both with permanent press cycles. An 18 cubic foot frostless refrigerator, $499.99. A 9 cubic foot freezer, chest or upright, $279.99. They're Kenmore, America's best sellers, at great savings this week only. So come get them before they disappear.
There's more for your life at Sears.
This part always chokes me up.
This Halloween, nothing sets the mood like a movie from Blockbuster.
You're getting my fur wet.
Sorry.
Make Halloween fun with one-stop shopping at Woolworth or Woolco for your Halloween needs. Costumes from $1.83 to $3.99, like $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, superheroes, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and a new favorite for girls, Holly Hobby. You can get wrapped candies of every kind, bubblegum, lollipops, fun-sized candy bars. Get this Halloween record, sounds to make you shiver, just $1.89. Make Halloween fun and easy. Make just one stop at Woolworth or Woolco.
Chickadee, Mommy, give me something good to eat.
How about this for a treat? It's the Fox Kids Beetleborgs Halloween Bash Sweepstakes. You could win the biggest, baddest Halloween party ever with yours truly and the Beetleborgs. We'll bring plenty of munchies, cool music, spooky Halloween costumes, and loads of labyrinthic Beetleborgs prizes. You're also going trick-or-treating with me and the big bad Beetleborgs. 500 other kids will win Beetleborgs action figures. Stand or get a postcard with your name and address by October 16th, too. Fox Kids Beetleborgs Halloween Bash, P.O. Box 1129, Los Angeles, 90078.
This Halloween, party with your favorite monsters during Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, Florida. And right now, carve out savings of up to $16 off admission with this special coupon you'll find on 2 liters of Pepsi. For details, visit a Pepsi display near you. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. Hurry to Ticketmaster today for advance tickets, while you can still slash the price.
Guess what? You're invited to the Halloween party of the year. Villa Lights, big Halloween haunt.
Right, big man, 160 very lucky people will be flown to Universal Studios Hollywood.
Find this special can in pop accent cases of Villa Lights. It's your invitation to go.
Oh, it's 45,000 on the prize. Details from a bit of light. Gold.
Man, it's gonna be a scream.
I think you'll like this house.
Isn't this supposed to be haunted?
What an absurd idea. I mean, what would a ghost be doing?
No other diet soft drink delivers the real cola taste of 1-calorie Diet Coke. The real one. It's lifting more and more spirits every day. The move is on to Diet Coke.
The Halloween event you must see.
Showtime.
The ultimate show.
Buffy, no!
For the ultimate scare. A Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I didn't leave that open.
You should be afraid to miss.
Goosebumps. Terror in the graveyard game. Goosebumps. Get through the graveyard alive or be changed into a monster. Goosebumps. Terror in the graveyard game. Collect bells. Avoid hidden traps. Find the magic ring. Defeat the headless ghost.
I win!
Goosebumps. Terror in the graveyard game.
Quaker granola dips, a hauntingly wholesome Halloween treat. Chewy granola dipped in real milk chocolate.
Chocolate and granola, lose my self-control and granola dip.
The perfect treat for your little monsters.
Everybody's heading to Woolworth and Woolco to get set for Halloween. There's costumes of TV favorites like Wonder Woman and the Hulk. There's popular characters from Star Wars. And there's superheroes like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and many more at bare bones prices. $2.38 to $4.17. And there's Spook Sticks, Face Pops, Hallowitches, wrapped candy of every kind, all at the favorite Halloween haunts. Woolworth and Woolco.
Gosh, Burger Chef, it's Wolfburger the werewolf.
Where can I get delicious burgers? Where can I get fun food? Where, oh where?
At Burger Chef.
And now at participating Burger Chefs, you can buy fun meals that now come on Halloween magic meal trays. There's a magic trick in each fun meal. There are 10 different magic meal tricks you can collect.
Burger Chef, you're incredible!
Here's a good idea for Halloween, Wrigley's Gum. My kids love it, and it's the treat I approve of. That's because I know Wrigley's Spearmint, Double Mint, Juicy Fruit, or Big Red Gum is a wholesome treat for kids. It won't spoil their appetites. Each stick is neatly wrapped, ready to hand out, and there's great value in a variety of package sizes. I like this new 50-stick bag. Wrigley's Gum is the best idea for Halloween.
Get the wholesome Halloween treat kids love. Wrigley's Gum.
Hey, I'm no numbskull, so call me at 1-900-909-2233, and you'll hear the funniest monster jokes like, what's a vampire's favorite sport? Basketball. Or the one about the ghoul who missed her mummy. You'll also find out how to get these scary street signs featuring my friends Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein. It costs $2.45 for a 2-minute message, so ask your mom or dad if it's okay before you call 1-900-909-2233. I'm dying to make you laugh.
I just love Halloween.
Mama, what's my costume?
Oh, we already have a daddy, so how about a mummy?
Where's your costume, Ronald?
What am I going to be for Halloween?
Yo, Ronnie, how about a clown?
Welcome, landlubbers, to another exciting adventure on the high seas of the internet with the Haunter. As usual, it's brought to by the Haunt Collective. Tonight's hosts are Suzy Flessick, she's the reason the rum is gone, and Troy Crivolone, a real scallywag of the high seas. And Captain Dan Doble, watch out when he folds his arms, mates. Tonight's guest is from the dry lands of Utah, Todd Wood and his Haunted Wood Co. Well, folks, we're ready for a swashbuckling good time aboard the Royal Presley, so hoist the mainsail, raise a flag on of rum, tighten the jib, and we be setting sail for Haunter Island.
Good evening, Haunter. Welcome to Haunt Hour Season 4, Episode 22, where we're going to be swabbing the poop deck later, I bet.
Poop deck?
Troy, how the hell are you?
I am fantastic. The Royal what? The Royal Presley. Yes, it was the Royal Presley.
The Royal Presley.
gonna think. I had to put his name in there somewhere.
That's good stuff right there. So we're gonna be talking Haunter Pirate stuff tonight, eh?
Hey, we are.
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
I know.
It's gonna be fan-fucking-tastic.
We're gonna enter the brig soon, so you know.
Interesting. So what's new? What's going on, Troy?
Not much. I had a crazy little weekend and got back from into the heat, and that was not fun. Arriving in Dallas last night, and it was 100 degrees at 9:00 at night.
That's gross.
And the Dallas airport likes to suck in that heat down below where you're waiting for your rental car or from your shuttle thing. And that was not fun. Yeah. So, but other than that, we are finishing up. I was literally 20 minutes ago. I was in the editing thing for the award show. And I think Christopher, is it okay if we announce it now?
I don't know. Announce what?
I didn't tell you. I told you.
No. Sorry. Yes.
He's notorious for that.
Yeah, I'm notorious. I'm notorious for that. I like to spring stuff on people. So
no. Go ahead.
Okay. So Christopher has left the award show, and we replaced him with an AI robot. So there will be no more Christopher. Oh, that's not the news.
Whoops.
Oh, whoops. No. That was news for later on, not now.
That was news. That was news to you. No, we are officially going to be releasing, and I didn't have time to make a graphic, or I would have. We are officially releasing the award show this coming Sunday night, the 25th of August. So it will be out probably 9 p.m. Eastern, maybe 8 p.m. Eastern, so people can get to bed. So we'll probably do 8 p.m. Eastern.
Troy, we're haunters. We don't sleep. Remember that?
I feel like people on Sunday do. I think that's like the one day that people are like, you know what, I'm still gonna go to bed. Like I've heard people say, oh, it's Sunday, Halloween's on Sunday. We got to get to bed, before Monday. And Monday should be a holiday, like Super Bowl Monday should be a holiday. So I still think, because some of us are a little older, Christopher, than you. So we got to get to bed.
True.
I hate to say this, but I'm older than both of you.
I know that's because you're old folk.
I don't know.
And you're in bed. If I don't keep you up, you're in bed by like 8:30. So shut up.
All right, Dan. What year were you born?
Dare I say?
Yeah.
77.
Okay, yeah, I'm older than you. So shut up.
Shut the front door. Seriously?
Yep.
You're what, 76, Christopher?
Yes, I was born 76.
That's what I thought.
Oh shit, man. You age well, my friend.
It's all the moisturizer.
I age like
it's all that humidity.
I age like milk.
Sean says 75. Sean is 75 years old, folks. He ages well. That I will tell you right now.
Interesting.
That is quite the age progression there. I think he's Benjamin Button, actually. So yes, August 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern, tentative, but probably. We will release the award show. It is ranking in right now at about an hour 20, maybe a little less. Part of that is silly banter between me and Christopher, of course. Set up and tear down of the show.
Our banter is never silly. It is absolutely
entertaining banter.
Entertaining.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
It's not entertaining when you edit it for like 2 months and you see the same fucking phrases over and over again. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Try and make it funny. We'll see.
It's not funny. So yes, we will have that out, which means we will have 10 brand new winners for this year. Well, 10 winners, they're new for this year, So we will have 10 winners and some fun along the way. So I know we have a bunch of awards that went to people that have never won awards before. So
that's awesome.
We keep going on that track, and I love it because it gets people to really.
What's the average new haunter? Like, what's the percentage of new haunters versus return haunters in your
I would say it's at least 60-40 or 70-30. Like it's
only I'd say new haunters.
Yeah, I would say it's higher than I would say it's 8. I would say it's more like 80%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 80-20, yeah.
We get tons of new submissions from new haunters, and then a lot of times several of them make it to the winning, and a bunch of them make it to nominees because we do five nominees, and then one of them is the winner. So a bunch of the nominees are brand new ones that have never submitted before.
That's awesome. I didn't realize there that much. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it really gives people the knowledge to that they can win. And that anybody can win. And that was the biggest problem with the older awards was that it felt like it was the big kids club. And
the good old boys,
it was just the same people over and over. So we have some ways coming up in the next couple of years of eliminating that feeling if some of our other people win more and more and more, that we are looking to some ideas of removing them from competition altogether.
Remove. Next.
So I think one of the big things that really helps out with that though is in some of the older shows, it was the same people judging over and over and over again.
Yes.
Where one of the things that we do is we have different judges every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, you're getting fresh eyes on something that they may have never seen this type of stuff before. They've never seen these haunters before, and it kind of gives, gives more people an opportunity to win than somebody that, oh yeah, I remember this guy last year, man, his stuff was so awesome and everything. Yeah, I really like his, I'm going to score his high. It helps to prevent a lot of that. So that's one of the reasons why we use different judges every single year, because like I said, it gives fresh eyes to everything.
It's Bill, this is my Dave Matthews one, and it's a little warm here in Texas, and this is a leather chair, so I wanted to put something a little softer on it. So Christopher's on voice only for some reason today. I don't know why. It's probably hot in North Carolina too. So
I'm old is what he said.
He probably has no clothes on, and that's probably just best. So
looks like curdled milk over
there. Yeah.
Aged like milk. He's actually in the brig because of there's no nudity on this pirate ship, and he's been running around naked for the last 3 weeks on the ship, and it's just some of the other guys are getting annoyed by it, and
the other guys are getting and the other guys are getting a little excited because they haven't seen
they haven't seen a lady in quite a while. So
yeah, so hey.
So they view you and you turn into like the turkey, and they just like Homer envisions you as a turkey and wants to eat you. Yeah. So on that gross note, how about some absolutely fantastic
haunting news?
I don't know who to give credit this to, but I saw it actually a couple weeks ago, and I keep forgetting to bring it up. Somebody posted this website about these battery eliminator kits, and we've known about them for AA's and AAA's, but now they've made them for C batteries, and I'm assuming maybe D batteries as well. And there are some bigger props out there that do use C batteries. I actually saw a guy the other day post on Facebook that he's actually looking to find battery to make things battery operated, and I said, you are absolutely nuts.
How would you do that?
While the rest of us are trying to find ways to plug these things in, he's like, I want batteries. Well, I can give you guys his address, and you can send all of your battery stuff to him.
Actually, I will say I have done that before. I have taken a power supplied prop, and because you can buy battery adapters that you actually plug batteries in, and it has a couple of wires coming out of it, and you just where the power supply goes into, you just wire that together, and boom, now it's operating off of batteries.
People, that have big long trails and stuff like that maybe don't want to bring out 500 feet of extension cord, and stuff like that. I can get it where there would be a need for some battery operated things, but I think the majority of us are yard displays. And
definitely down for this eliminator kit. Have you bought or used this or anything?
Yes, I have used the AA and the AAA one. I use it for I have an FM transmitter that is out in the yard that does my projections and the Christmas stuff too. So then I want that FM transmitter to come on every time my display comes on, and I couldn't do it with the batteries, so I just decided to just make it plugged in. And I had to change it over to this, and it works fantastically. Basically, all they are is they're just conduit connectors. So they just connect all the pins together instead of you trying to wire things up to all those little pins. You are just putting fake batteries in there that have nothing in it, and they just have a connector between the two ends, and it just completes the circuit and then plugs in. But it does come with a power adapter, so that you're not trying to figure out, well, what power adapter do I need?
That adapter and setup is less than 4 C batteries.
Oh, absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this company is, and they've got a lot of stuff. They have a lot of power supplies in different different wattages and amps. They have the barrel connectors, the lengthen, I don't know what that word is, lengtheners.
Extenders.
And then they have triple taps and 4 taps and all kinds of stuff. So and these are actually really good prices. These are like Radio Shack prices. $4.99, $5.99, $2.99.
Like early 2000s Radio Shack prices,
right? So
that's a great deal.
They definitely, they have a lot of really cool stuff in here. So the name of this company is lightsandbatteries.com. I will actually put it. Oh God, what did I do? I will actually put it in the chat there. So yeah, if you need, and it does, if you spend over $100, you get free shipping. That might be a little tough with these prices. You might have to buy a lot, but I'm sure the shipping's not that expensive either. So, so you can check that out. Not a DIY technically, because it's not really a DIY. It's more of a review. Isaac Alexander, we all know him. He does all those crazy how-tos and stuff. He actually went along and bought 24 different skeletons from different stores. So 24 stores are represented here to kind of give you the, ins and outs and the pluses and minuses of these skeletons. Obviously, that one has 2 heads. That one is pink. The one he didn't get was Dollar General. Dollar General does sell skeletons. They sell 5-foot and 3-foot skeletons. They are cheap as hell, but they are posable. Even the 3-foot ones. So I'm buying all the 3-foot ones because they're $10.
Right.
But cheap ones like some of these cheaper ones, you can watch this video on your own. But a lot of the cheaper ones, even the ones that aren't posable, are fantastic for monster mud because 90% of it's covered. So you don't care about what the skeleton looks like, what kind of detail it has. You're covering it. You're basically using it as just
the bones. Yeah, no pun intended.
So right. So don't overlook cheap skeletons because they're definitely the expensive to cheap have a place in your display and your needs. So you can check this out. He does a very good review on every single one of them. And of course, there's ads all the time.
Of course.
Stupid ads. Jellyfish is stupid. Govi's better. So obviously, I think. Oh, I got Christopher the werewolf one of these years ago. I got him the werewolf skeleton from Target. It was the only place that sold it, and I think they still do. I think they still sell it every year.
Yeah, they do.
This one is the naked Lewis from Target. My name is Lewis. He is back, by the way. If you want to pick up a Lewis skeleton, that's now it's a gimmick. So yeah. And by the way, Haunted Hill Farm. If you ever see Haunted Hill Farm on Home Depot, Walmart, obviously now Tractor Supply, you probably need to steer clear of it. Haunted Hill Farm is extremely cheap and extremely it's not well built at all. I've heard nothing good about their animatronics. As you can tell, their posable skeleton is anything but.
Not posable.
It looks like there's pen pieces where you cut off a piece of a pen and you stick the wire through it and stuff like that. This is it's garbage. So PSA, do not buy from Haunted Hill Farm. Buy from other reputable, awesome haunt vendors.
And pink ones from Target.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everybody needs a pink skeleton. So probably the only other big news that we have is and Dan can Jen and Rich from Trans World, they got married this weekend in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was a 3-week put together wedding. Rich said, if you don't plan this wedding, we're not going to do it. And so he was joking, but she took it to heart and went with it. And she basically planned this thing in 3 weeks because they're super busy people. So I got table 13, which I think is fucking awesome. Brian Foreman asked me how I did that. And I said, well, I know people. And we did sit at, I did get to hang out with the Lee George. That was fun. But we did sit at the kids' table. I did want to make sure that
that's good.
See, there's the kids' table.
Kids obviously didn't have their phones either, so I get it.
Right. We have Paul and Shane and Katie and Lee and Tater.
All right, enough of this bullshit. Let's talk about real haunting shit.
Oh, congrats to them, and we'll another haunt couple is married. There's not very many left of us that aren't married.
They're always up and coming, Troy.
There are.
They're always up and coming.
There are.
Speaking of up and coming,
we decided that Tater, we're going to have to wheel him into his wedding because we're going to have lots of handicap access. By the time he gets married, we're going to have to all be rolling into the thing off.
By the time he gets
in a relationship yet or no?
Huh?
Is he in a relationship right now or no?
Nope. He's married to the fog.
Oh Jesus!
And by the time he gets married, our old folks bit, it won't be real. It won't be costumes. It'll be
we'll just show up.
Yeah,
he'll show up as real Granny.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. Oh yeah, so the I almost
the DIY of the week.
The DIY of the week
Troy.
is something that I've actually wanted to kind of dabble in. I've seen a few other haunt vendors make these. They're the rib cage creepy pumpkin guys where you just see the bits of the spine and the arm type of thing, and then you see the cool head coming out. There's a couple of vendors that makes things similar to this, but I never really knew how. And this guy goes into a pretty good detail. He was making them and thought, I should make a how-to real quick. One of the cool things is that it's made out of sealing wire. And that was the thing I didn't know what they were using. So
that's interesting.
It's sealing wire inside of PVC or inside of metal. And basically all you're doing is you're taking the sealing wire and you're drilling through the PVC and you're putting the wire through it and looping it around to make kind of the ribs. And then he takes a good long time on explaining things, but he actually does it with
aluminum
with
foil.
tin foil. So you wrap it all in tin foil to give it that shape and to give the little arm thingies and the little claw
really
parts.
Cool.
Yeah. And so I was like, this is really cool. But he does take, it's a carpet adhesive and paint. And that's what he uses to paint the actual structure with everything. And so you can obviously
does he mix it together?
Yeah, he mixes it. I believe he says it's pretty much a 50-50 mix. And he said, but you do want it to be a little soupy because you want to be able to spread it. So you add a little bit of water so do a 50-50 and then add a little bit of water to water it down so that you can spread it a little bit more.
I bet that was partially I've got this sitting here and I need to get rid of it. And
probably. Yep.
Let's try it and see what happens. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's waterproof. And It's going to be durable as hell.
And I think the adhesive would work better than the joint compound, like Monster Mud. You could do this with Monster Mud too, but maybe the carpet adhesive sticks a lot better to the foil.
Well, it's definitely not coming off. I mean, that shit's if you've ever used it before, it's everywhere.
So then he just takes his normal. He takes the paint, different colors, mixes them together. Does a little dry brushing here and there and stuff like that to add it. So we put it on our DIY list already, and you can check it out. So I might I did send it to my friend Kelly, so we might tackle this in the winter and see if we can make one over there at her house, because I have a theme that won't need it, but I kind of want to do it just because, So that is our DIY of the week. Let's see kind of what he made there. Those are pretty cool looking. So if you're looking,
I wonder if he uses carpet adhesive, but you always see people that use driveway sealant, and I wonder if you could. I wonder if
before too.
I wonder if you could use a driveway sealant on it.
I've seen that as the alternative to Monster Mud.
Could you paint? Can you paint that though?
You once it's dry, yes, because people use a driveway sealant on like their paper mache, paper clay pumpkins. Okay. And then they do the painting on top of that. I'm pretty sure you could that way, but
that's like your base. That's your base.
Exactly. Yeah. So but I don't know if the driveway sealant gives it a different texture. Not the driveway sealant, the carpet adhesive and the paint mixture. I wonder if it gives it a different texture than the driveway sealant. Like you've got the tin foil, and so that has some texture to it, and then you paint the mixture that he uses and you still capture some of that, whereas if you use the driveway sealant,
it's going to be thicker.
It's going to be thicker, and it might actually
hide the
detail. So maybe not. But
so that's what we do, though. We trial and error. We try these things, and we say, "Hey, let's figure out how to make." I got this like you said. He had it laying around, and he thought, "I will try this and see what works." As you can tell, you can't see the screen now, but in the back corner of his room, he's just got piles of buckets. So I'm sure that's what it was. So
It's got to be a carpet guy.
Yeah, he very well could be. Bill said driveway sealer will crack as it dries, but carpet glue won't.
Yeah, I agree, Bill. I bet that shit's gooey as hell. Very pliable.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a new thing we have to add to our arsenal in our
carpet glue.
Yeah, carpet glue. So
thank you, Bill.
Yeah, good job, Bill. God, I have no segue for that.
Segue?
Dan,
let's not use a segue. Let's sail into the next one.
Let's sail into the next one with your awesome pirate hat there.
Arrgh.
Oh, ahoy!
Hello, Todd. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
You chose to be a pirate, Haunter, so you're getting pirate jokes.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Well, you think that, but it's actually the C.
You are correct.
Yes, that one kind of hurt a little.
Christopher, I literally saw our viewer count go down by 1.
Yeah, that was me. Bye.
Peace out.
Oh, that's because I logged off of YouTube for just a second. I'll log back in. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. All right.
Oh my gosh, I got this one. You ready?
Okay.
Why did the pirate pull out of the stock market? Because he was in shark-infested waters. Arr!
I can see the pain on Todd's face.
Todd, poor Todd.
I think I'm going to take my boat down. That's not going to work anymore.
He's like, I'm going to go for giant ceiling wire pumpkins now.
Yeah, I'm going for pumpkins this year.
Why did the pirate push the other pirate overboard?
I don't know.
Because they got into an argument.
On that terrible dad joke. We got 3 dads here, so sorry, Todd. Are you a father, Todd?
Oh, yeah, 3.
Okay.
See? Yeah, it hurts. And by the way, I got you all beat. I'm 1968.
Oh, that's just experience. Then it's not it's not being elderly. It's experience and respect. So stop making terrible dad jokes.
I got one more. Okay, I got one more. Ready?
Oh, come on.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Who's there?
Oh no, it's that damn parrot again.
Wah 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 wah.
All right, we're done.
Thank you.
We're done. Let's talk.
Can I breathe now?
You can. You can.
Thank you
for humoring me.
I was holding my breath that whole time.
Speaking of parrots, he made a parrot.
Hey, I only had one. I just for the record, I only had one.
So
yeah,
welcome to the show.
It didn't hurt as bad. Yeah, it didn't hurt.
Welcome to the show. You're obviously a hunter. You love pirates.
I do.
Let's as you know, we always talk a little bit about your history and what brought you into Halloween. So, what brought you into Halloween, and why pirates, and how long pirates?
Well, we fell into pirates because we were doing a haunted mansion first. Of course, I grew up in Southern California, and Disneyland was a staple if we could afford it. Right, we were kids living on dad's single paycheck, and we would go to Disneyland as many times as we could afford as kids, which was once every 4 years.
Right.
And so the ride you hit first is Haunted Mansion. Pirates. I mean, you wait, you just run, rope drop, run, right?
Yep.
And so when I grew up, I have 2 older brothers who are 6 and 7 years older than me, and they loved Halloween too. But I'm a little kid when they were in junior high. I'm this little pipsqueak watching everything they're doing with their friends. And we lived in a really great neighborhood, suburb of LA in the San Fernando Valley, and lots of kids, and we would open up our backyard because mom and dad didn't have a lot of money. Backyard was nothing but dirt. And so we would have them walk through the backyard as a walkthrough, and we would just put in cardboard tombstones and sheets with paper bags in their heads and, throw them around in the backyard. And remember, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but skeletons used to be cardboard. The skeletons were flat cardboard,
with the
flat
the
Stanleys,
handle,
right? Yeah, flat Stanleys. And so we would have that and and put those out there thinking that was the stuff, right? We were doing it. We were haunting. So later on, I grew up, got married, moved to Simi Valley, and we had this house in this little cul-de-sac of only 50 houses with one in, one out. And I was so excited. I'm like, hey, this is my first house, right? We're going to do it up right. We're going to decorate for Halloween, and 3 kids show up. And I went all out, right? I put out as much stuff as I could. I built a whole bunch of stuff. It was just depressing. And then it turned into trunk or treat at the local churches, right? So we would go do trunk or treat, and everybody got the same Reese's bar. It's just depressing, right?
Yeah.
So we got an RV, so we would bring the RV down there and decorate the RV, and of course, it was awesome for that night only.
Right.
Got a job in Vegas and was able to move to St. George. And so we moved to St. George, and the kids literally just come out of the lawn. They just water them and they pop up. There's kids everywhere. There's thousands and thousands of kids here. And so we're sitting on a street that's a little busy. It's got a lot of traffic. There's a lot of schools around us. And I'm like, hey babe, let's put out some Halloween stuff, right? And so we did the tombstones thing. I did thunder and lightning, computer controlled thunder and lightning, some strobe lights, some wooden tombstones out of OSB, stuff that's laying around, put it out there. Yeah. 100, 200 kids, right? 200. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a hit. This is great. And so if you go through my YouTube videos, about 10 years ago, I made Larry and Larry was one of my first props that I built. And then, there's Larry. And so he's one of the first ones I built and put him in the center of the yard as my, my first, yes, I'm building. I'm a man now. And he's just huge. He's a huge hit, and I got to thank all the guys on YouTube, Steve Haunted Yard and Still Beats and all those guys who had built this prop before. And I just tweaked it a little bit, it's opening and closing with a green light underneath. So I fell in love with it, did mine. And I did a video showing how I did mine. And I think it turned out great. I got a lot of hits on it, big deal, right? And then the coffin in the background on that one is Claudia. And she was a huge hit because she pops up so fast and scares the kids. And so I decided to go, hey, I want to ramp this up a little bit, right? I want to get a little more scarier. I want to get a little more gorier. And that was a big mistake. I did some atmosphere projections on the windows, the silhouettes of, the hanging guy and the lady on the phone getting stabbed and stuff. I loved it. Right. And this is when Fear of the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead was out. And so I'm like, yeah. I love, The Walking Dead was the show to watch for me. And I was just loving it. And so I put it out there. Boy, I got complaints. The parents were coming up to me going, sorry, my kid just doesn't want to go to your house. It's just too scary. And
too scary.
And why is there someone hanging in your window? And why am I watching this? And, stuff like that. And, and I'm taking this all in going, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. So we get a lot of kids who didn't want to come to the front door.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, okay. And I talked to my wife. I go, hey, we gotta change this up. What do you think? So we kind of said, well, let's try pirates. It's whimsical. It's fun. Everybody know, the movies are huge. And I think like the 4th movie came out at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could throw together a real quick, wooden boat, and I'll grab, we'll do skeletons. We'll do nothing but skeletons on the, instead of, real actors or something like that. We'll do skeleton. We'll do a new twist on Pirates of the Caribbean. And so I downloaded some of the music and the stuff from the YouTube, right? Downloaded the soundtrack and all that, and built some cannons. You see some of the cannons on there early on, and that was it. That was a hit. There was nothing like throwing pirates out there with the guy behind the wheel and a mast in the front yard with the sails blowing in the wind. and smoke, and that was it, right? And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and to the point where now I've got a 48-foot frigate in the front yard, and fully computerized show. All the cannons shoot to the point, and now I got music involved in it, and and now it's a light show, and all the skeletons are talking and dancing and singing, and it's a full walkthrough. You can walk through the backside of the ship, and all the kids just expect it. They expect this level of pirates, where one year they were afraid and they didn't want to go through, and the next year they're dragging their sister or brother through it, going, just wait, there's this guy over here and this guy over there, and now the kids, they expect the fun and just the awe, the magic of it all, and that really capped it off for us. And then the crowds just got so big, and it just made us feel better about the choices we made about doing the pirate theme. And so we're sticking with pirates every year. I don't really want to, I wanted to do zombies, sure. I wanted to do all that stuff, but this lends itself so perfectly to the neighborhood and the kids, and the parents love it. I think I get more, about equal number of parents versus kids.
Right.
I get the older folks up here. During October is the Huntsman Games, which is the Senior Olympics. And we get just flooded with seniors who go walk through the ship endlessly. And they, on the phone, on Facebook time and stuff like that with their kids, in other states and other countries.
Yeah.
And it's just a huge hit. And, I just sit back and go, yep, this works. I'm happy.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I've always wanted to build a pirate ship, and we've had a couple people on here that do ships, and I'm always intrigued, especially if it's a walkthrough along with a facade of a ship. I can't wait to see inside and how this is all put together.
Yeah. So I have a video out I put out just a little while ago doing the full walkthrough during the day. So you can see how I do all that and how it all works.
Was it windy there?
Yeah, it's always windy in St. George. It's always windy. I have one, I don't know if I put it on video or not, but the wind knocked all my masts down and cracked them in half. And so I've been, constantly, I started October 1st and we go through Halloween night. And about halfway through the month, I'm fixing. I do nothing but run around and fix. Wind damage.
What is the mast made of?
The mast at first it was PVC pipe, and it was only like 20 feet high. So 2 10-foot sections of PVC pipe screwed together, and then I would hang the sails on it first, and then dig a little hole and slap it in the hole. And now I'm using, right now in the middle of the yard, we put a real flagpole in the middle of the yard. Nice. That put the American flag up year round, and then I bring that down, and then I pull up sails and a pirate flag at the very top. So that's the way it is now. And then the other two ones were temporary flagpoles that I bought on Home Depot or Amazon.
Right.
And I just run those up and hang some sails on them, and then ropes are the key. The more ropes you have hanging off things, the better it looks. They may not be doing anything; they just look good.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the
Dangle
same
ropes
time,
on everything.
It's like, when people talk about putting their 12-foot skeletons up, they talk about, well, you got to put these straps and you got to put these guy wires and you got to do this, you got to do this. And I go, that removes the illusion of a 12-foot skeleton standing there by itself. It takes the suspense out of it that we're all trying to do with Halloween. You're trying to suspend reality. But you, on the flip side, can put a ton of ropes and they could be holding down everything for that wind.
Nothing.
And it would look awesome. And it would look purposeful. That's
I have 2 12-foots. My first 12-foot skeleton I did, I sewed a jacket for it, the colonial jacket.
Right.
For it. And it's huge. It's gigantic. I found some drapes laying around, and I grabbed out the sewing machine, and I copied a pattern that I found on Pinterest, right? And it said just measure the person, chest and shoulders and stuff like that. And so it came out like 54 inches across the shoulders. This thing was massive. I ran out of drapes. try to cut this thing, but it looks really good. And I made him a big tricorn hat and modified his head so he talks and stuff. And what I do on the 12-foot Skelly is I just put big rocks on his base.
Right.
And that looks like it should be there, right? The rocks and no guy wires like that. And that holds them down pretty good. I've never had my 12-foot blow over.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Well, I mean, being here, I always give people the example in Texas. We can literally have a storm pop up in 20 minutes. And most people work more than 20 minutes away from their house. Yeah. So there's no way you can get back in time. If it was blue sky, 20 minutes later, whoosh, big old storm comes, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it's gone in 15 minutes, but your 12-foot skeleton's down the road because
it's gone. It's gone.
So I've always said at least take off the arms and the head, but you never know if you're going to have a storm. So you're not going to think about that every day. And I mean, I'm the takedown after Halloween 12-foot skeleton guy. I don't get the people that leave them up all year. And then of course they complain, they crack.
The sun destroys them.
Oh, totally.
And I love my 12-foot Skelly too much to put her through that. Oh,
I know it's only $300, but it's $300.
Come on, $300.
Right.
Hurts, man.
Yeah.
Come on, that's an investment. A 12-foot Skelly is an investment.
And eventually they will not be around. So you're not going to be able to count on Home Depot having them every year. It's going to be about 3 or 4 more years probably, and then they're going to be gone. Mm-hmm. And if you don't do anything to it, I mean, I've heard people do the UV protectant and stuff like that, and like you being in Utah.
Doesn't last.
No, it doesn't. You know. So
I don't know if you guys, there is a website you can go to buy replacement parts. Have you dug into that?
See that?
Okay, good.
But the problem is you buy a new head, the paint on it does not match the rest of your Skelly because it's new and the Skelly's old. So now you got to repaint now too.
Well, those are the digs, man.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
I noticed that I had the leering skeleton prop. It already had its thing all the way, it was all the way red, which means I've watched it before. And I absolutely remember watching you years ago.
Oh, wow.
For that skeleton going, I'm going to make this. And yours was one
wow. Thanks, Troy.
Because because like you said, there were lots of other people that had made it where it just went back and forth, and it, people put different lights on it or something like that, but you had the up and down. So then you had side to side and up and down. So it added a whole nother dimension to it and a light. And I'm big on lighting. And I was like, that is super cool.
And there's 2 things about Larry is, you can spin him around, and I put him on the ship now.
Okay.
I spun him around so he doesn't look like a tombstone anymore. It looks like he's just sitting on the boat. And now he leers over you as you walk through the boat, and with his thing and a sword in his other hand. I may have that in one of the other, more recent videos, but Larry sits up on the boat now, and it doesn't look like a tombstone at all that he's sitting on. It looks like just part of the ship. So I thought that was kind of fun. I was able to move, all I have to do is pick up Larry, spin him around, and he's sitting on the backside of the tombstone. And you don't know it's a tombstone. So he worked out twice. Great. He made a great pirate.
See, that's
and another thing, I don't mean to sound, petty on this thing.
No.
But I'm the first guy who named him Larry. And my video, I looked this up, man. I thoroughly went through all the YouTube videos, from Steve's, who called it a Leering skeleton prop, right?
Yep.
And then when I did mine, I just said, I call him Larry. And ever since then, there's like a whole bunch of videos saying, hey, this is my Larry, and this is my Larry, and stuff like that. I'm like, wait, where did I get Larry from, right? So I go back to my video, I just invented him right there in the video. I was just talking. I was doing the Trump thing. I was just talking. So I'm like, wow. Okay,
that is cool.
Larry's a thing now.
Yeah, because I remember people just calling it just the leering skeleton prop.
The leering skeleton prop.
Skeleton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this ship you're showing now is 3 years old. I took him down. The foam did not last. I tried to use them. I got 3 years out of it, but the pink foam just rots so fast in the sun and the heat and the wind and the rain.
Okay.
As you can see, there's a rain damage right there. That was one of the storms that blew in through St. George. The saying in St. George, real quick, is you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes.
Oh, one of those places. Okay.
One of those places, right?
Okay.
And so the monsoons always hit August and September, so it gets pretty brutal.
Of course.
I love pink foam. I love it. I've used it so much. It's so easy to work with, but it's only good for a season or two. It doesn't store well. It carves beautifully, but you can't put it anywhere. You can't keep it anywhere. And so I've been racking my brain on, I've got to build a new ship. And this ship that you're watching now, that year is when plywood was $85 a sheet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, it's all scabbed together.
Right.
Had a friend who was a contractor building an apartment building there in Hurricane area. And he's like, hey man, back your truck up, take as much junk if it's on the ground, it's yours.
Yeah.
And so we loaded up truckfuls of just junk lumber. And I built this ship out of that. And later on, when OSB sheets came down to, $11 a sheet, I was able to resheet it and to make it more solid. And I had to replace a whole bunch of pink panels because they broke, they shattered. This year, whole new ship, whole new layout, all new cannons, and I went with EVA foam on the outside of the ship instead of pink. EVA is flexible, right?
Yep.
And I bought 4 by 7.5 foot sheets of it from a place in California called foamorder.com. And it's 5 to 8 pound EVA foam, 3/4 inch thick. And once you glue them together, the seam is almost gone.
Right.
And on my Facebook page, you can see some fresh pictures of it on the pirate. There's a couple pirate shows, pages. But we watched a girl in Sweden who does cosplay, and she made a whole bunch of wooden props out of EVA foam, and she showed you how to carve it with a razor blade and a heat gun.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've watched a lot of her videos.
She's fun, isn't she? She's great.
She really is.
She made this keg barrel, and it's gorgeous. I'm watching this going, I have to do that. So we watched it 4 or 5 times and, grabbed some 3/8 stuff that we had for some cosplay stuff and tried it. And we're like, oh my God, it's gorgeous. And it's black already.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought the foam, screwed it to the side of the ship, the new ship that we built, which is all in sections and all in 4 by 8 sections. So I can build the whole ship by myself if I want to.
Nice.
And put the foam up there, got all the kids and the friends and the wife with their razor blades, started cutting lines and then heat guns. And then they dry brushed it with a kitchen foam scrubber.
Oh yeah.
Dipped in gray paint. Yep. And they just rubbed paint on it. And the black lines of the wood grain just pop.
Oh, I bet.
And it looks so good.
Now, what did you use to glue the EVA foam together?
Yeah.
The spray adhesive, the green can. The green can.
Oh,
spray both sides, let it get tacky and stick it together. Be careful. Yep. If you're not flat, it sticks. And once it's there, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
I've seen people do like contact cement with that.
Yeah, same thing.
And stuff like that.
So can.
Yeah, just a spray can. Yep.
Yeah, I'm fantastic with contact cement. Ask Bill. It's his greatest thing to do. He used to give classes at Texas. He gave them 2 years in a row about different techniques like that, and he used contact cement. And I took his class, and I didn't listen because I didn't listen to the part where he said do it twice or look around and do a dance or something like that. He said something, and I wasn't listening. Right. And so I went home and I did the technique, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. Right, I was trying to put 2 pieces of I don't know. I believe it was EVA foam with a wire in between because I wanted to make wings. I want to make angel wings out of EVA foam, but I wanted to be able to shape them with the wire.
Yes.
And so I did it, and it never stuck. To this day, I think I actually kept the 2 pieces because they're not stuck together because they never did. And then he goes, "Well, you didn't do this twice." And so now the joke is that I didn't wait 30 hours and do it twice.
I made the mistake and bought a whole quart of the wrong contact cement.
Oh,
that was water or non-flammable. Don't buy the non-flammable. You got to buy the flammable version of it. That works. The non-flammable is wood glue, just watered down wood glue, and nothing sticks to it. Nothing. So I got a whole quart of that junk that I don't want to do with. I saw a question on the chat that we start in June, building the ship. and try to get the ship out in July. Usually July 4th weekend, we try to, move it out. But last weekend is when we actually put the ship in the front yard. Okay. And once the ship gets in its position, and it's nothing but decorate, it's easier to work with. Now we can just start putting things up. And we do zone offense on the build. Yeah. We in the backyard behind the ship is the walkthrough, so we break it down into zones. And this is going to be an underwater zone, and this is going to be a swamp zone, and this is going to be the pirate party zone where they're all drinking and shooting each other and stuff like that. And so then we can. It's a lot easier to finish areas if you zone them out. Saying, okay, this has got to be done by this date, and this has got to be done by this date. Then it's go through, and I want to hang a little bit more there. I want to do a little bit more there, and so it's the beautification part of it is a lot easier once you've got the zones complete.
Yeah, Sean is asking, no HOA.
Nope. No.
Yeah. Woo.
Yes. You'd be surprised. In fact, we have neighbors that just moved in across the street, and they were mentioning one of the reasons why they moved here was because of us.
HOA?
Yeah. They said, "Oh, your house. We've been going to your house since day one, and I got to buy the house across the street." Well, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. That's right. Welcome aboard. Before I get to your newer videos, I wanted to stop on this. So you have an air nozzle hooked up to the to the nozzle of the great stuff thing.
Yes. And
you're
what I did the nozzle I have is the needle you fill up a basketball with. Okay. So I had a whole kit of those needles, ball needles, and I grabbed the biggest needle that I got in the kit. And Home Depot sells the kits. So I took the straw for the big gap, and I just stuck the needle in the straw, to go forward. And it's kind of a balancing act of when to trigger the foam and when to spray the air. And as you can see, it throws it pretty far.
It does.
And it really gives this great look. But later on, I found out, because that was really a mess. I mean, I got the stuff everywhere. It was all over me. It was all over. It was everywhere. What I later figured out was just spin the nozzle off and just push the nozzle over with your finger, and it almost sprays in the exact same pattern. With that, the big
taking the whole nozzle off, and then
just spin the nozzle off, and so you'll just see the plastic nozzle sticking up, and just take your finger and bend it over, and it squirts almost the exact same way.
Okay.
So that, here I'm thinking, oh, this will do it, and I think I may have saw that technique on a video somewhere, and I don't remember the guy who did it.
Yeah.
But trial and error. I had like 12 cans of that stuff. I'm like, well,
right. I just think with yours, it might have, with the finger trick, you might get more than you want out. With the air, you were like thinning it as it went out too, to get a little more coverage. Maybe.
I think what I ended up doing, 4 or 5 years ago, the air gave me a nice base coat, and then I could build up with the technique I talked about later.
Right.
You can, give more of a look of rocks and stuff like that. And of course, just cutting out pink foam and sticking it right on the big gap stuff, and sticking as rocks sticking out and stuff like that. That was the grotto. You would walk through that grotto, and I had mermaids and fish swimming around, and and gold pieces stuck in the foam. And so kids were always trying to pick it out and stuff. But it was kind of cool because it was all black lights in there, and you had to go through it. And it was kind of the grotto is my favorite part. Yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, here's the walkthrough. Yeah, this is last year's. I think this is like the day before, or 2 days before Halloween.
How many people do you get? How many people do you think you got last year?
About 7,000.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
on
we
one
bought.
night?
No. Well, okay, so. Halloween night. Well, the weekend before Halloween and Halloween night are huge.
Okay.
And I would say we get 2,000 a night.
Okay.
On the big nights, on the weekend before and Halloween itself. The show's open from all month long, so we get a couple hundred people every day, every night.
Yeah.
And we leave it open too. So in the daytime, the kids can walk through it and realize it's not so scary. And so that night they come back and walk through it and they own it, right? They're not afraid of it anymore. But no, we got a lot. We got a lot of people this year, and I think we lost count. So, yeah, it's just okay. I'm done counting.
Yeah.
There's Duncan. Yeah, there's Barbosa sitting on the gold pile. He tells the tale of the Aztec gold. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and so we're walking through the back of the ship here, and you can see the cannons and all the wiring. Lightorama. I'm using Lightorama on everything, just because I had it, and I did Christmas a while back, and Lightorama was the good go-to starter kit, for it. And there's the flagpole. You can see the flagpole as the mast. That's one of those collapsible flagpoles.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask, because with all of the electrical components and stuff that you have back there, how big of a spike do you see in your power bill when you're running? Because they are
no question, Christopher.
All right. So there's a saying that I say when people ask questions like that, is that we don't talk about Fight Club. When people say how much does this cost, I'm like, we don't talk about Bruno.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah.
It is.
If it's like buying an RV. If you got to ask how much, you can't afford it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, really, are you turning on is everything running every night? The cannons, the show, everything every night? Okay.
So the last 2 years, we did not do that. We would only run a basic show during the week, which was no air, no smoke.
Okay.
And just when we have a radio program going at the same time, so you can sit in your car and listen to the whole show.
Okay.
No speakers. I turn the audio off and just run basic lights and stuff, and no animation, and that was fine. And then on the Thursdays through Sundays, everything's on. Right, the smoke's on, the cannons fire, the skeletons move and talk.
Right.
And that's cool. But we were getting huge crowds on a Tuesday night.
Okay.
On a Wednesday night. And I'm like, oh man, maybe I should, and it's all controlled. It's all computer controlled and it's all timed.
Right.
So I don't do anything. I just, I go to work and it runs. And so all the power, I run all the timer powers off my phone.
Okay.
Through those smart switches from Home Depot.
Yeah.
And that turns on the smoke, and that turns on the lights, and that turns on the walkthrough, and that turns, I have everything timed out in all the zones that I have, so I can control the zones. If I need to fix something, I can just go on my phone, turn that zone off, fix it, and then turn it back on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm so lazy. So
no.
Definitely not lazy.
I call it lazy.
Definitely efficient.
Yeah. So I started to go, I got to run this thing. I'm getting too many people and they're walking through every night. I'm like, fine, I'm just turning it all on. Right. So now we run it every night, smoke and everything, air, the whole show runs. And I find myself repairing a lot more than I used to, but that's just it. That's just part of the game.
Yeah. As you add more, you're going to have to fix
as I add more. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this year I really went crazy with, I want to build things right. I don't want to throw things together anymore. I want to have everything the same. So I have all new cannons this year. They're all built exactly the same way. They're all out of metal, no sheet metal screws, no drywall screws. Everything is done correctly. Everything is easy. I can install the cannon in 5 seconds now.
Right.
I have speed hooks on the side of the ship where boom, they just go in and plug them in, and I'm off to the next cannon. Right.
Right.
So I wanted things faster, quicker, funnier. I wanted things easier to build. I did a lot of prep work this year in the garage, thinking, okay, my main problem last year was this. So I made sure I fixed that and made it easier to install, modular, and so that changed everything when you sit down and actually say, this is what I'm going to do this year. This is what I'm going to do this year. Instead of, September 15th, I am rushing to build a skeleton that jumps or something. Right. Yeah, I can't do that anymore. It just eats me up and pisses everybody off. That helps me out because I'm running around going, that's not what I wanted. It's the wrong color.
It's the wrong color.
I have so many people that want to help, right? And I got to be nice to them.
Right.
I'm not nice to myself, so I gotta be family friendly, right? Family friendly.
What is this thing? I saw it in the
Oh, that's one of those ionizer, water ionizers.
That's what I was gonna say. It's an ionizer.
And this is a 12 port version of it, and it pumps out a lot of fog. So I got one in Duncan. So when Duncan's drinking, the fog just rolls out of the barrel that he's sitting in. Now, a few scenes before that, you saw a black and yellow bin with a fogger in it as well.
Yep.
That's my low level fog, and that's it right there. There's a smoke machine on top, and there's an auto filler of water in there. And so I got another fogger inside, as you can see right there. And the auto filler, that's from a swamp cooler, the blue thing.
Okay.
And so as I said, I'm lazy, right?
Yeah.
I want to keep the water constant because it runs all month. So that thing keeps the water level exactly where I need it. The fogger sits at the bottom and atomizes the water. And then you close the lid and have the smoke machine blow its smoke into that cavity. And then I have a ventilation fan out the hole there, that with a metal duct there, and with a dryer tube. And that blows underneath the ship where the lava rocks are and where the guy's fishing and all that.
Yeah.
And that blows this low level hug grounding fog that is just gorgeous. I mean, it puts out a fog that hugs the rocks and goes down the rocks and then goes down into the street. Oh, I'm telling you, it's so damn sexy.
It's just it's just regular fog fluid, or is it low line?
Fog? Nope, regular fog fluid. And you know what you can do to save on fog fluid? Because trust me, I eat like 55 gallons a year of it. Is you can thin it out with distilled water and still get the same effect. So I take a gallon of fog juice that I usually buy from Froggies, right?
Yeah.
Or Amazon sells Froggies now. Lowe's sell Froggies now.
Lowe's and Menards, yep.
Right. And so you can get a gallon of Froggies standard fog juice. And if you want to run this prop here, cut it in half, distilled water, and you get the same effect. Nothing changes.
Right.
And in fact, sometimes if you don't cut it, it gets too thick and it covers props up and you can't see it. I want mine to go through and fast so you still can see what's going on down there.
Right. So does the ionizer, the ionizer, does that eliminate the need for ice then, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It cools everything down. In fact, the whole chamber is like 30 degrees cooler than the ambient air around it when you close the lid.
So you're saying I can buy this, sit in this instead of buying a pool, and I can be cool here in Texas, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Woo!
Do it.
I'm down. Buy myself an atomizer.
Don't send me pictures because I really don't want to see that.
Okay. Anyways, I'll wear a swimsuit. I have a Texas swimsuit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Wear a lot of them.
The news coming out of Texas is man electrocutes himself when he puts ionizer in pool and sits.
There you go. I want to be cool.
So I don't. It may be later on in this video, but where the guy sits, no, it doesn't weigh down the particles at all. Smith 17, Smith Mills. No, it doesn't. The fan. You got to have the fan on there to suck the fog out of the chamber.
Out of the chamber. Okay.
And that's the key. That's the key to the whole thing. Without the fan, it won't do anything. Right. It'll just fill up the chamber and some will come out. But you got to have a fan. Now, there's another guy on YouTube that uses a 12-volt bilge fan out of a boat.
Yes,
and that's supposed to suck. Yeah, and that one's waterproof and all that, and that one really does a great job. But Home Depot had this ventilation fan, and it plugs into a wall outlet. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheap.
I've got one of the bilge ones.
Oh, there's Larry. There's Larry right there.
Waiting for it, so I'm going to be building myself one as well.
Cool, do it. Yeah, it's so worth it. Yeah, it's so worth it.
And with the ionizer, the ionizer, I'm just going to say atomizer because I can't say
atomizer.
I can't say it.
Atomizer.
Ionizer.
There we go.
Ionizer. Yeah, so that's my old cannons right there. They used to shoot and recoil backwards, but the years of out there in the weather, just the actuator just destroyed the cannons. So now I just use them as static props.
Yeah,
and just let them sit there. They look pretty. So, concrete tubes wrapped in foam. And I bought some, the stuff you can make your own casts with on Amazon. You soak the whole thing in water and you wrap it, your arm for casts. I did that on the cannons. And that
plaster
sealed.
wrap.
It's it's a and it sealed up the can. Yeah, plaster wrap, and it sealed the cannons, and they look good too. So I'm like, win.
Yeah.
Now there's Jack, and that chair rocks back and forth, and Jack does his thing on the ride. Toast to all my pirates.
Oh yeah.
On the top of the sail there, you saw a lantern. Those are Amazon lanterns, solar, and you can get 2 of them for like $20. Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah.
And so when I put the mast up, I just hang those lanterns all over the ship.
Yeah.
And they're solar powered, and they put out a great flame, really bright flame. And those things are awesome. I have them everywhere. And at night, it just sets everything off. Lights are everything on this build. People who don't put lights on their haunt just are losing the effect. Yeah, you got to have the right lights, and flame lights on this build is just so important.
I'm contemplating changing my lighting because I have 12-volt lights that go all through my cemetery, and with how much sun we get here, because I used to live in Oregon, we got once October came, we never got any sun,
right?
And so I'm like, here I can do everything in solar now, and so I'm absolutely thinking of changing over my solar or my tombstone lights and putting solar lanterns like those all over the place in front of the tombstones around them, and see what kind of cast they give, because I don't really. My old house, I had a street that was, my yard was right up against it, and it was level with it, and people could walk right up to my fence and look at the cemetery. Now I have a big drainage ditch because here in Texas, all the water just sits on top of the soil, and so it has to run to a drainage ditch. So nobody can stand in front of my yard anymore and see the tombstones. Like, they can't read them. They can see them, but they can't read them. So now I don't care what they say. So now I don't need them to be lit up to the point where somebody could read it anymore.
Yeah.
And if I need them to read it, I'll just make the words bigger. But I like the idea of the solar lanterns because that flame effect would give a cooler look than just a white light.
And you can put them anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can move them too. You're like, I don't like this light here. And you have no cord to worry about or nothing like that. And they last all night. They last just long enough.
Right. I mean, as long as they last 4 or 5 hours.
Sure. Okay, so stop the video here and back up just a little bit in the lava field there where the guy's fishing. I put a new thing in this year. I put water splashes right there. Okay, so when the cannons hit, on the show and on the ride, the cannons are shooting back and forth, and there's remember the splashes of the water when you're in the boat?
Right. Yeah, like when the cannonballs are hitting the water.
Yeah, I do that in that river right there in front of you, the pond where the shark is.
Yeah.
That's full of water. And I have a pump in the bottom of that. Underneath the shark is a filler and a pump. There's like a 3-foot hole there. And I put a garden box in there and stuck a pump in there. And all the hoses and stuff run up into the ship. And during the show, I turn the pump on and water pours out the cannon ports and flows out like a waterfall.
Right.
And goes into the lava rocks and feeds back into the shark again. So again, I'm like, hey, I wanted water this year. So I put little air solenoids in the ship with air lines going into the rocks. And I think there's a video of it. And lights with pond lights. And during the show, those squirt water straight up into the air with lights as cannon hits. Well, one of them aimed into the crowd. Biggest hit ever. Everybody loves it. That's the one they wait for. And it's so kind of random into the show too, when it squirts and hits you in the crowd. The kids can't stand it. They love it. They go giddy over, getting wet over the water. So I'm pretty happy with the water feature. So that was my first year, was last year. This year we're doing it up even better. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with the water this year. So
that's cool. There's a question. I know you said it already, but what program is it that you use to run the show? Lightorama.
I use Lightorama. And real quick tip, I got a couple of videos on how to build Lightorama.
It looks very complicated.
It isn't. It isn't until you learn it. I hate to say that, but once you kind of figured it out and played with it a little bit, you're like, oh, okay, that's not so hard. I made the mistake. My shows are 15 minutes long, and they repeat every 15 minutes. I made the mistake and made the Lightorama program 15 minutes long. And Lightorama is built on sections, 2-minute songs, right? 3-minute song. It doesn't like 15-minute songs, and it gets kind of glitchy, and you lose things. And I'm pulling what little gray hair I have left trying to program this darn thing. So what I learned was I broke the show up into 3 and 5-minute sections. And then I found out I don't have to do the same show exactly the same way now. I got the canon, I got the battle scene, and then I got the, this song, and then I got, the sirens singing their song, and then I got this, and I'm like, hey, Lightorama will randomize all of that stuff and put those things all over the different show. And I found out I got a much better show now instead of this standard canned 15 minutes. And whenever I need to fix something, or I don't like that, or the timing's a little off on that cannon shot, I can go in and fix, and while the show's running, I can go in and fix that one thing on that one song that's not playing at that time and save that file, and it automatically goes, it's already part of the show. And so on the fly, I can fix things on the fly now and not have to shut everything down, go back into the 15-minute show, find that spot, fix it, and then run it a couple times to make sure it worked. And so that was, I've learned the hard way, which I do, how to do it right. But Lightorama, a lot of people hate Lightorama, right? And it's okay. Oh yeah, the Lightorama triggers the cannons. Lightorama's got 115 volt plugs, and they're just relays. That's all they are, is relay. They turn things on and turn things off, or you can make lights dim. I have air solenoids hooked up, which are 115 volt air solenoids. So Lightorama with an extension cord goes right to the air solenoid or whatever and shoots the cannon. Yeah, that recoils the cannon back. The lights on the fog machines for the cannons have a ring of LEDs on them. And I found out that's just dumb RGB. That means 12 volts and 3 grounds, red, green, blue.
Right.
And I bought a little DMX RGB controller that Lightorama will run on Amazon for 80 bucks or whatever. And I hooked that up. I hacked into all my smoke machines. So now I have complete control over the lights on each smoke machine. So when, Thriller comes on or something like that, I have the cannons pulsing to the song. And that just looks awesome,
right?
For the music and all that. And of course, when the cannons shoot, I shoot red. The red lights come on,
right?
So I hacked into the smoke machines, and I go directly to the pump, the smoke pump itself, the fog juice. It's a 110 volt pump that's in the smoke machine. I have Lightorama directly go into that pump, so I can control when the smoke goes. I can control when the lights come on,
right?
And I have the screen door actuator things that I've hacked into to use as spring-loaded air solenoids, and so then I hacked into those too. So I have complete control over all the cannons just with Lightorama.
Right. That is.
Oh yeah, there was the chair rocking.
Yeah.
That was
really
cool.
Yeah, that's a couple years ago. That's the first year.
I mean, basically, you can't buy something and then not modify it and animate it.
No. There's nothing I buy and go, that'll work. No,
right.
I buy it. Oh, look what I can do to it.
Right.
Yeah. So he's a water spitter. He's got a hand, a pistola in his hand, and I bought a water squirter. On air. On God, I don't remember the website I got it from, but it goes into a gallon thing of water and it squirts a little bit of mist at the kids when they walk by. He's a big hit. This wall here that you're seeing, that wall we built for Horror Fest here in St. George. We have Horror Fest International. It's a horror film festival that we have, and Adam Mass puts that together. And so they asked us, hey, could you help us out and, build something for the foyer just to show off, so people can do, photos in front of photo booths kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so Sherry and I, we said, she loves this wall. She goes, I want to do that, Granny's house rotting wall thing with the plasters peeling and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm like, let's do it. Right. It's just 2 4x8 sheets of that real thin laminate floor, that 1/4 inch stuff, and some 2x3s. And we put it there and got the paper you put in your drawers and stuff for your house.
Oh yeah.
Liner. Shelf
drawer liner.
Drawer liner. Thank you. And then that's all that is on the wall is drawer liner. And so when we put it on the wall, we would peel it back a little bit and paint. And I'd put strips of wood up there to make it look like lap and plaster.
Oh yeah.
And some cheap molding. And
I love the baby doll.
The baby head.
Yeah.
He flickers. That's one of those flicker bulbs. Yeah, that's Fright Props. Fright Props sell those 12-volt flicker bulbs.
Oh yeah.
So I stuck it in a baby head. I thought that looked awesome. Yeah. And of course the haunted portraits there, that's just a computer monitor
right
in the wall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On an endless loop. Cool. Yeah, I love that. The
staples
rocking chair I got from an antique store. And I have a little motor on that and it rocks back and forth. Just simple.
Yeah.
And this is the party scene here. Now, in this scene, these 2 cannons shoot at each other. I don't know if I have that in there or not. In this walkthrough, probably not. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it has come to the time of the show where we get to ask you a specific question, and I think this one's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, look.
It's time for the Haunter's Toolbox question of the week. Oh, if you were handed $500,000, what 3 things would you buy for your haunt?
3 things.
Just
things.
3.
Just 3. Can there be multiple of those items?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Fright Props, talking skulls. Those things are just amazing.
Oh yeah.
Or the 3-dimensional skulls and stuff.
Right, where you can program them to say.
I think they're running $1,700 right now. I think from Fright Props or a couple other people that make them. Yeah, I would buy all of them.
All of them.
No, Troy, you know what he needs to buy? He needs to buy some of those animatronic figures from the guests that we had on a number of months ago.
Oh, from John, John Hoke. He sent me a video. We're gonna show the video next week on news because he showed me what he made for somebody in South Carolina.
Awesome! I'll have to watch that.
Oh,
cool.
That dude's awesome.
John's company makes some pretty badass characters. I mean, it looks like the person's like it's a person. It's so fluid.
It's real AF.
What he makes.
Oh, that's sweet. I love it.
I mean, you could probably almost have a pirate walking around with what he makes. I know, right? So there's your 500,000 right there.
Yep.
Done.
For me, I would. God, that is a very hard question actually, and I should have thought about it when I put it up because I thought of the question, but I didn't think of my answer. I would definitely buy some badass fog machines. Probably one of the because like Froggy sells the one that you just use water. It's the Poseidon thing or whatever. That's several $1,000s. But I would definitely buy a large storage facility in my like a really nice shed for my backyard and stuff.
One that would double as a haunt. Because with a
it could. But see, I'm putting my pool in my backyard, so I'd never really get a lot of use out of it. But I may use some of that money to put a pool in because I need to go somewhere after I'm building my haunt. I need to go in the pool. So
I'm building
and a fog and a swamp laser to go along with it.
Right. Also, I would then also buy you, since you didn't say it, I would also buy you 3 flame, the flame cannons.
Yes. Oh.
See, I thought you were going to say that. I was going to say flame cannons.
I saw those and went, oh my gosh.
I know.
And
they're programmable.
So 3 of my rules are no flames, no glass, and no gore. So because those things are just dangerous. That's just want a lawsuit instantly. Just add those 3 things, right?
Froggy's does make a flameless.
Yes, that's spark. Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, cold flame or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if I need those yet.
Dan, what about
I
you?
can make it work. I'll fit it in.
Well, I would say one of everything from Gorgalore.
Right.
One of everything. I would probably just have somebody light my haunt for me.
Oh, there you go.
From a professional standpoint, because it's a whole lot easier to say, okay, this is what I want it to look like, and then have somebody do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do that, and then, gosh, third thing, guys, it's a lot of money, man. I know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's those elements. There's the lighting, there's the sound, and then there's the haunt itself. I mean,
you could
it up. There we go. I could be a real tag and just say marketing.
Well, yeah,
spend it on marketing.
Yeah.
No.
You could also prepay your electric bill.
That's that goes to
all of it. You pay all of it.
Christopher, what about you? Besides using it on a down payment in a house in Texas,
that's what I was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
not a down payment. I buy the
haunt.
Yeah, I buy the.
Oh, that's true. You can just buy the house. Yeah.
I just buy the house outright and then use whatever's left over just to buy tools and supplies and just build stuff.
Buy a crane.
Buy a crane.
Actually, I asked somebody if I could buy their cherry picker, so I could do the math one year, and he goes, "The thing weighs 17 tons. I have no way to get it to your house." Like, darn it.
Sean, I'm doing the math right now.
The endless supply. What is it?
That would get you 38,491 haunt panties. Just
38,000.
38,000.
That's endless. Well, it's Sean. It might not be endless.
It might not be endless.
For some of us, it's endless.
Some of us.
I'm not sure what those are.
Speaking of.
Don't ask if you don't want to know, Todd.
I don't want to know.
Don't ask
don't
if you don't want to know.
Speaking of hot panties.
How does speaking of hot panties go into rapid fire questions?
Hot? I said hot panties.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I heard haunt. My bad.
No.
I guess you had me thrown off with panties. I apologize.
Probably.
Todd, do you know how this works?
No, run it by me.
Rapid fire questions. Answer them as fast as you can. You don't have to really think about it. Just whatever comes to mind, spit it out.
That may be dangerous.
It will be dangerous. I assure you. Wait till question 3.
Still.
Let me know when you're ready. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right. What is the perfect length of time to walk through a haunted attraction?
5 minutes.
Latex mask or silicone mask?
Latex.
Third question, Dan or Troy?
Oh, Troy. Damn,
that's nice. Well done.
Ed. Oh.
Zombies or vampires?
No, zombies.
And the final one is facade or final scare?
Facade.
And he's literally a facade guy.
I think that's the fastest we've ever gone through those questions.
I think so.
Yeah. You can ask more if you want.
That's it.
All right. What's your favorite haunt? What's your favorite thing to build or show? What is your favorite prop that you have?
Favorite prop?
Yeah, that you have. You guys all haunt, right?
Oh yeah.
So what is the one prop you have that is your all-time favorite?
My favorite prop is the Gorgalore character. The can't remember what they call it.
Okay.
Yeah, the puppets.
Yeah, the actimatronic.
Those things are awesome.
Actormatronics. They do have a shark one, by the way.
What's that?
He does have a shark one.
I know. There you go. No gore though.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if there's any blood. He can make it without blood. He can make the shark.
I'm sure blood. You could. Hold on, I'll find it. It's gore.
For me,
he can make one bloodless.
I have 2. One's an old one that I don't use, and one's a new one. I used to have my first ever prop that I made was a guy. It was a desk fan from Goodwill, and I put a mask on it, and it went back and forth. And I had him out in the yard all month long, and then I dressed up in his outfit and scared kids in the same way he was.
I remember that.
There you go.
And
so you messed with him a little bit.
We would use him in the haunt in a different way. He was standing, sitting, laying down, drinking something, doing whatever. He was in there for about 8 years, and then it just started to fall apart. The fan stopped working, and I didn't want to keep going and add a new fan or anything like that, because God knows you can't. It's hard to find those type of fans anymore. And so I was like, nope, I'm just gonna retire him. But he never got a name. We never named him. But he was my favorite for that, because it was the first, and then he was the Easter egg of where he was. And then now is my new one is I've got these skeletons that are on stakes that are hanging up, and they've got candles above him, and they're just hanging like this, and I have them flank my 12-foot skeleton. And so they have these flickering candles on top and everything in the chain, and they're corpsed, and they're just out there in the yard, just. And they look really cool, all lit up. And I put upshot foggers behind them, so they, lights go.
How soon are you going to have your haunt set up this year, Troy?
We should probably start building, huh? We should probably start doing stuff. Ashley's literally out there in the living room right now, drawing on the last 2 foam panels for the lab. So we are in the process of getting the panels out to the yard so we can start painting them. While she's painting them, I'm going to frame up the garage. We've just had too many things get in the way of us doing things. Like for a long period of time, we've had something to break it all the time. And so now we have nothing, virtually nothing. I have one convention I'm going to for a day in September, but that's it. Other than that, it's nothing but build. Our life is calmed down. So
are you gonna be up and running in October?
Why did you say hurtful words like that? Of course we will, but we will maybe. I think this lab is going to be almost a 2-year build. It'll be mostly done, but like we want to add wood pillars, and your EVA foam idea may come into play on that, because we want to make the foam pillars go in between each panel to hide the seam, basically. She's got the rock lined up so that you don't have rock lines going like this. The rock lines are connected. And so she's got that done the right way. But so there's little bits and pieces. But my next thing, as soon as I get it framed up, I'm building the slab that people can stand on, because there will be no monster. You will be in front of, you'll stand on the slab, and the lab will be behind you, or surrounding you, so then you can take pictures. So cool. I've got some other things I'm going to build that I can start. She's going to do a lot of the lab. I'm going to do a little part of it and help her with it, but then I'm going to go on doing my own stuff. But I do my best work at this time. Like I absolutely shine in late August to September, because if I have too much time in front of me, I can't do what you do with the June. I can't do that. Like I want to, but also as you know, Todd, as well, it's 100 degrees every day. And
none of that, Troy. You got a million things going on.
It's painful.
I do. But we've noticed now that we've been here a full year, we now know when we can and when we can't do things outside. Like April to late May, it's going to rain like every 3 or 4 days, and it's going to pour down rain for like a couple hours each one of those days. But from like November to February, it's cool. It's in the 60s. Maybe in February it's in the 30s, but it's not raining. But we can work in the garage. Where at my old house, you couldn't work in the garage because it was freezing ass cold every day. Yeah. And so you couldn't, and it was raining, and it was, and I didn't have the room, and now I've got the room. So we're going to have to adjust how and when we build things. And it's going to be more building in the winter and then installing in the summer, instead of doing all this building, because I've just been so conditioned to build in July, August, September, because that's the only time I could have paint dry in Oregon. Paint would never dry in March or April. It just would sit there and just be wet for weeks. And so you could only do things like Monster Mud and things like that in the summer. And so I only had 2 or 3 months to do it. And so now we really have to adjust. I've got my friend Kelly that lives here now too, and she was in Southern Oregon, and she said the same thing. She's like, it's way too hot to be building stuff in, neither of our garages are air conditioned yet. They will be eventually. So I waited too long this year. So I applaud you 100% for doing it in June and starting that early. That is amazing that you can do that. I do not have that type of, I don't know if that's like push or, whatever you call that to do things that early. If I see so much time in front of me, I will find reasons. Oh, I can wait till next week on that. And now it's August 20th, so it's tough. Do you do like a list, Todd? Do you like, because I know you said you do zones, and I did that when I did my walkthrough. But do you do like a list, like this week is this week is this?
Oh yeah, I have all those composition books you buy at Staples or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and break it up into years, and each page is to do. This needs to be done. The first 2 pages are nothing but scratch of, okay, this is an idea I have. How about this? How about that? How about the walkthrough? And then it's this page is going to be, this is going to be the grotto. This is going to be, last year we had spiders. And so we did nothing but a spider thing, guarding a treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. You really do. Troy, I totally understand where you're coming from. I've been the September 15th guy building my haunt and hating every minute of it. But I love it, right? Chaos is my fuel.
Yeah, it is.
And everybody around me hates it because I'm running around.
Yeah.
Throwing things together, and then it doesn't even last till Halloween because the way I built it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the way I wanted it. It didn't work right. I used too many drywall screws. So
I skimp on something,
Yeah.
Oh, I can that part. I don't need to do that part.
I don't need that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't. I forced myself.
Yeah.
My wife is forcing me to. Hey, no, it's January. Start building.
You have the best haunt in the industry.
Yes. So I try to, this year has been really great. We popped on. I've had a lot of other things that I've had to take care of, my other works and stuff, my other jobs. But this one's been great. I've really nailed down and got things done. And I think she says we're ahead of schedule, and I'm going to believe her on that. So yes, I think we're doing great.
So you said before we end the night here with your socials and everything, you said you had a killer story to tell us.
Oh, this one's the best story ever. Okay. And it's Claudia. It's Coffin Claudia, my second prop that I built, the one that jumps out of the coffin. All built out of screen door actuators and stuff like that. And so not really knowing how to tone down the air. And so she's very violent, right? And she's great. She's my best. She scares the kids every single year, and they expect it. And it's just the greatest thing ever. But I haven't used her in a little while because of this date. About 4 years ago, Claudia was set up and near the street. So even if you walk by on the sidewalk, you would trigger her off, and she'd jump out, and the kids would scream. So one year, I'm out there watching the show, right? And this little kid comes up to Claudia and goes up to him, and he's facing Claudia face on, right? And Claudia opens up, pops up, the head flies off, hits the kid in the chest. The kid's standing there. He's so terrified. His mouth is open and nothing's coming out. He's all, the head is laying at his feet, right? He just got assaulted by a skeleton. And the kid is just terrified. His eyes are like saucers, and his head comes flying at him and hits him in the chest. And I walk over, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Claudia got a little carried away today. I'm so sorry. And mom is laughing. She is rolling. She cannot believe what just happened. She goes, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That is awesome.
I apologize, right? And I'm carrying, I'm carrying Claudia out of the hole there. So I'm like, oh, so that was one of my greatest times ever is having her assault somebody.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She's great. She's my favorite.
Story.
That is awesome. And it's a pretty simple build too.
It is. Yeah,
it's a couple of actuators, like you said, and
Yeah. There's two. The one that does the lid and one that throws her up, and it's all OSB, so the thing weighs a ton.
Oh, I'm sure. Yep.
And I was always afraid that, I'm not going to be able to open the door. I'm not going to be able to open the door. So I built this actuator, stuck it to it, right? It ripped it out of the hinges in my first time. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh no. So I'm like, I guess it's strong enough. So I've had to rebuild the thing like 8 times because those, dampeners or actuators, whatever you call those stupid things, they make great air solenoids because they're spring loaded. They come right back.
Right.
So I love them. I abuse them. I have like 10 of them running in my haunt at any given day.
I think yours is probably the most intense that I've seen that does this pop-up thing.
It is violent. It's awesome.
It's violent. Yeah, she's violent. And I don't want to turn her down.
Right.
Like
No.
She is. Yeah.
No. It's like, I could just imagine that head flying.
That's horrible. Well, and then I thought I fixed it, right? I threw a drywall screw down the top into the PVC pipe, and I put it out there and fired it up again, and the head went shooting across the street. I went, okay, she's done.
You just need to put a bungee cord on her.
A big
so then it goes, but then it comes back.
Yeah.
She's my most crazy. Violent, but my most loved and beloved treasure is her.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So since I'm already on the page, I can just go right to that. You can look up Mr. Todd Wood, and it's a haunted wood cove. I like how you put your last name in there. Smart. And you can check that out on at Todd Wood, or just type in Haunted Wood Cove into YouTube. You'll find that. And same thing with the Facebook there, with the cool skeleton and the moon there. You can see that they got the reels on here that you can watch of them getting. They're in there building and getting it set up.
Yeah, that's the new boat right there.
Just yesterday. So
yeah, just a couple days ago. Yeah, and it rained on us. See, monsoons hit us just as we were moving the boat.
Well, you have a boat, so they thought it was time to be in the water.
Time to get wet.
But honestly, is that like when it does this? Is it still like 100 degrees out?
It is. It's 107.
Does that help that it's raining on you or not?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it cools you down a little bit.
And then,
but it's so dry in St. George that immediately sometimes the rain won't even touch the ground and it evaporates so fast. So as you can see right there, it's gone. So it's 107 and monsoon, and the water is gone in seconds. So high desert is such a strange place. There's the panels of the boat, how we put it together this year. It all breaks up into sections.
So, where do you store everything? Is it on site?
On this, I got an RV access on the side of the house, and I have a Connex back there, shipping container.
Got it.
I was thinking about that too. Because I have a nice spot for it, and I'm like, that might just be easier. Just than buying a shed.
It is. It's so much nicer.
I just don't know if I want that in my backyard though.
Yeah.
At the same time,
well, bury it. Hire a company to come and bury it.
Yeah, then you can just put a hole in the top and you climb down in.
Yeah, just put a hole in a ladder or whatever. Yeah,
how about I just buy 2 and one of them can be in my pool then too?
Sure.
Yeah. And then if you unload everything, just make it a tiki lounge.
And then when the apocalypse comes, you can live in there.
There you go.
It's a great idea.
When the zombies show up,
all great ideas.
Guess where to go.
I
love the back of the ship. The back of the ship is my favorite. Yeah, we really went crazy on the boat this year. And the picture of the back of the boat right there. Yeah. It looks so good. Look at that.
Really good.
We all did. That was a team effort on putting that together and dressing it up and painting it. I can't wait to light that up. And there's going to be those flame lights in the windows too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be well animated. I'm just so excited this year for this boat.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Just to freak you out though, there is only 72 days till Halloween.
Thank you, Troy.
It's less for him.
It makes me super upset. Like I'm super freaking out.
Yeah. So first week of October is Huntsman's Games. Okay. So I've got to be up ready to that. The second week is the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And the third week is, I think there's a triathlon in St. George that weekend. So, and then Halloween's the fourth weekend. So
you're about 30 days.
I'm busy. Yeah. I've got to be ready. That's why I'm ready. Yeah. I got to be ready October 1st. And we usually are. Yeah, the 99% of it's done, and then it's just decoration and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
the
fixing.
fun stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff, right? Then we, at night on the weekends, we bring out the tables and snacks and adult beverages, and we talk to people. We have some T-shirts to give, sell and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
Good
cool
stuff.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Well, I think before we head out here, we always ask that one question, Troy. Who's on next week?
Who's going to be on next week?
Yeah.
It's our final episode next week.
Yes, I know.
And we're going to have...
leading into the final episode was who's on next week.
I know. We are going to have the amazing Cody K-Fish from my favorite haunt to say the name terribly, Nightmare on... He's up in Edmonton. They have there's actually 17 silent letters in the name. It's just Nightmare on F. And then the rest of the letters are silent.
Did you say nightmare? Did you say nightmare on ass?
Cody's
not gonna like
his haunt is ass.
I have been through his haunt, and it is not ass. So big time charity guy. He award winning. The whole family gets involved. The neighborhood gets involved. It is a great ever changing haunt up there in the snowy. We're going from heat to snow in 1 week because he almost always has to haunt in the snow. So
can't wait.
So
well, I think that brings us to the end, does it not, Troy? Do we have anything else we need to talk about?
No, I think we're good.
All right, Todd, appreciate you coming on, man. Great haunt. Can't wait to see the new ship this year.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody get into the haunt spirit, man.
I'm gonna be following for sure. So have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching the Fantastic Haunt Hour on this Tuesday night. Join us next week for our final week for this season.
Yeah,
8:00 next Tuesday. Good night, all.
Peace.
You got it, Troy?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, now I got it. Last week I didn't get it.
What about the F? What about the F, Kevin? F you.
What about the F? Why is my shit? I can't. You're gonna have to hit the button, Troy. I'm stuck in a different window that I can't get out of.
Stuck in the windows of